Yo, welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Imagine waking up, logging into Wuthering Waves, and BAM! Network error. You close the app, open it again. Still an error. You think maybe it's your Wi-Fi, maybe it's your phone, maybe Mercury's in retrograde. But no, it wasn't the planets. It was war. Digital petty felony tier war. May 14, 2025, a day which will live in infamy. At the stroke of midnight, like some cursed Cinderella story, Kuro Games' mainland China servers were slammed with a massive cyber attack. An attack so big, it knocked out login access to both Wuthering Waves and Punishing Grey Raven. Yes, both games. That's not just sabotage, that's a declaration. And if you think this was some random act of internet mischief, then buddy, you haven't been keeping up with the season 3 of the great Gacha War. Although nobody is officially blamed for this attack, of course, people will have suspicions. Let us rewind. Over the past few months, tensions between fan bases have been hotter than a swimsuit banner on double rates. The Kurobots, unflinching disciples of apocalyptic waifus and spectral weaponized trauma, have been locking horns with Hoyo Shields, the tireless PR battalion for Teyvat's evil mega corporation. What began as meme skirmishes soon evolved into full-blown meta crusades, culminating in a brazen attempt to assassinate Wuthering Waves' age rating. At the time, we naively thought, surely this is rock bottom. But we may have underestimated just how deep haters are willing to dig. First, it was Cantarella's camel toe, reportedly scandalous, but in reality, just good marketing karma as it only fueled more interest in the game. Then came the CARTETHYIA drip clip, flagged for daring to show more skin than a sunscreen commercial. And now, right as Kuro Games' flagship titles start nipping at the heels of the gacha genre's ruling class, a cyber attack conveniently cripples their mainland China servers. Coincidence? Possibly. But between the surgical timing of the sabotage and the suspiciously synchronized silence from the usual peanut gallery, it's beginning to feel less like misfortune and more like a telegraphed boss attack. Painfully predictable, ridiculously timed, and designed to wipe the party. No smoking gun, of course, just smoke, mirrors, and the unmistakable scent of foul play doused in plausible deniability and dumber than average subtlety. That's not just petty, that's incredibly convenient, or maybe incredibly dumb. Kuro Games, to their credit, responded with the grace of a studio that's probably juggling tech support and 3 fire extinguishers. Dear Rovers, they said, using the kind of polite tone usually reserved for airport flight delays. They acknowledged the attack. They apologized. They're restoring the servers. But the damage? The damage is done. Gacha discourse has been spiraling for months. And now, we're seeing what happens when the discourse leaves the forum and enters the back end of servers. Is this where we're headed now? Gacha fanbases graduating from YouTube comment warfare to full-blown digital skirmishes? And let's talk about timing once again. Right as Wuthering Waves is throwing its anniversary bash, right when Kuro is nudging ahead of Genshin in the unofficial blood sport of weaponized revenue report filing, right when the CARTETHYIA drip marketing hit social media like a box office hit, right as a sudden wave of innocent content creators, many of whom just happen to be former Hoyo loyalists, begin softly pivoting their coverage like they're sneaking out the back of a collapsing building. Right when even the normies, the casuals, the tourists, the moms, the wives, the workplace lurkers are sneaking time to log into Wuthering Waves on bathroom breaks. And then poof, server blackout. Not a glitch, not a hiccup, an attempted digital lobotomy, or at the very least, the most suspiciously strategic moment of server sabotage, like accidentally deleting your group project the night before it's due. So of course, it's raising eyebrows. And naturally, some fingers are being aimed in the general direction of a certain, well-funded, fanatical fan base that rhymes with J.O. Feels. Not saying it's them, absolutely not. But when the crime scene smells like resin and expired Welkin moons, you can't blame people for making a few educated guesses. And then there's the Gacha revenue report. Allegedly objective, but looking more cooked than a 5-star crit build left in a volcano. According to some sources, Wuthering Waves earned about the same as last month, yet somehow sold less than both Genshin and Senless Zone Zero. Despite raw numbers from other sources such as GameEye.daa that suggest it nearly matched Genshin and practically lapped Senless like it was running tracks in flip-flops. The math ain't mathing, folks. It's like someone saw WUWA's momentum and said, "Quick, suppress it with statistics." This gacha PvP isn't just getting personal, it's getting delusional. We've reached the point where spreadsheet sabotage is now affecting people's sense of reality, let alone their enjoyment. So you ask, what do we do now? We do what any gacha veteran does after emotional trauma and digital sabotage. We log back in. We keep pulling like the serotonin addicted loot goblins we proudly are. We grind those dailies harder than a speed runner chasing world records. And above all, we don't let petty, suspiciously timed server blackouts distract us from supporting the studios brave enough to serve us silky smooth combat and existential lore dumps that make us question our entire life purpose. Thankfully, this time only Chinese players were affected. But next time, who knows? Today it's them, tomorrow it's you. This nonsense has to stop before login buttons become war zones. This isn't about games anymore. This is about pride. This is about honor. This is about making sure that when Wuthering Waves releases their next 5-star, it's on a server free from the tyranny of unexplained outages. Smash that like button, subscribe, and hit that delicious notification bell for more. And drop a comment if you think suspicious timing should be a new elemental status effect. Because this is no longer a fandom feud. This is digital war. Thank you so much for watching. Maraming salamat po. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.